Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel for women in India. My name is Parul and in today's video we will be talking about Simone de Beauvoir. Simone de Beauvoir was one of the most outstanding French authors and philosophers. She has written essays, novels, memoirs and autobiographies in 4 volumes. Simone was born in Paris in 1908 to Georges de Beauvoir and Françoise. Her father George worked as a legal secretary, though he aspired to be an actor. In 1906, he married Françoise, a devoted religious woman. Her father was passionate about literature and he instilled his love for literature in her and encouraged her to read and write from a very young age. Whereas Simone's mother's religious belief and the fact that Simone was an atheist caused friction between them. Simone wanted to be a writer and was not interested in getting married or having kids. In 1925, she passed the baccalaureate exam in mathematics and philosophy. In the following year, she received certificates in higher studies in French literature and Latin. In 1929, at the age of 21 years, she was the youngest person to pass aggregation, a highly competitive post-graduation exam in philosophy in France. She was placed second in the exam right after Jean-Paul Sartre, who was preparing for the exam for the second time. And it was here where she met Jean, who later became the love of her life. Simone didn't believe in monogamy and was in an open relationship with Jean, which was revolutionary for her time. She then began her teaching career and taught at several schools before turning to a full-time writer. She also helped launch the feminist liberation movement in France and signed a manifesto for abortion rights. In 1941, Simone was dismissed from her teaching post as a result of Nazi. So she devoted her time to writing books. However, her collection of short stories on women, When Things of Spirit Come First, was rejected and was not published until 1979. But her first novel, She Came to Stay, written along with one of her students and Jean, was published in 1943 and brought her public recognition. Her later works comprised more writings of fiction, philosophical essays and interviews. In 1945, Simone, along with some other intellectuals, co-founded a monthly review. She later added a feminist section in the journal. She also continued writing for her lecture tours of the places that she visited. The 2 books, America Day by Day and The Long March, published in 1948 and 1957, are the result of her travels to foreign countries. Simone wrote extensively about women's plight during her later writing career and became active in the women's liberation movement in France. The Second Sex is one of the most popular books written by Simone, which brought on the second wave of feminism. This book is counted amongst the most notable works of the 20th century. It discusses feminist philosophy and women's position in society throughout history. It helped establish the difference between gender and sex and is still considered an essential reading. Aside from feminist issues, she was also concerned about the elderly people in the society, which she addressed in her book called A Very Easy Death in 1964 on her mother's death in a hospital, as well as Old Age in 1970, a bitter reflection on society's indifference to the elderly. She was more of a socialist feminist addressing the role of a patriarch. She was also dedicated to writing her autobiography, which was published in 4 volumes. It reflects her life, relationship and prospects. In 1981, she wrote a farewell to Sartre as a tribute to her partner who died in 1980. For a long time, Simone was not considered a philosopher. Various reasons have been given for her exclusion. Some say it was because she wrote mostly about women, and others say that she didn't strictly follow the methodology. She is considered a feminist icon and her work continues to remain relevant. And that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, found it informational, then please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon to never miss an update.